Small group leaders, welcome to week one of our time together as we walk through the book of Judges. We have titled this series, The Relentless Faithfulness of God to a World Gone Mad, because that's what we're going to see in the book of Judges. The world has gone crazy, and God has still remained faithful to us. And so when we get to this first week together, we're going to be in Judges 2, verses 1 through 7. And this is Israel coming into the promised land. Way back in the book of Genesis, when Abraham was called, in Genesis chapter 12, 12 through 15 or so, there is this promise made to Abraham that he's going to be given a race, he's going to be given a family, that he's going to have more descendants than there are sand on the seashore and stars in the sky. So he's going to be given a race. The Jewish race is going to come from Abraham. He's also going to be given space. He's going to be given a promised land. And so God's people, the Jewish people, spiritual Israel, as we know them now, will be given a promised land to them. And so Abraham's family, Abraham's descendants, Father Abraham, who had many sons, is a song we would sing, is going to inherit this new land, and that land is called Canaan. However, in the time of the promise to Abraham and the actual conquest into the promised land, there's a lot of time that passes. Israel goes into captivity. They're in Egypt. Moses goes and rescues them. They spend 40 years wandering in the desert. Moses dies because of his disobedience. He's not allowed to enter into the promised land. And so it is Joshua who is tapped with taking them into the land of Canaan, the land of milk and honey. And Joshua does an excellent job. Joshua is revered amongst Israel. He is loved by God. He is a fantastic commander. He fights well. He loves the Lord well. He leads his people well. He takes them all the way into the land of Canaan. They take what is promised to them and given to them by God. And then Joshua is old in age, and so he's about to die. And there's no one really to take up the mantle. Israel had it so well under Joshua that they had forgotten to actually disciple their kids and disciple the next generation. There's an elder by the name of Ben Sensing, who is an elder here at Midtown 12 South, who says of England, it has been said that England was intent on evangelizing the world, so much so that they forgot to disciple their own children. And when you go to England today or most of Western Europe, you'll see that it is spiritually a pretty dead place. And yet there are these fantastic tabernacles, these fantastic temples, these fantastic houses of worship built, a reminder of a time in which England and the West and Western Europe really did pay attention to the things of God. And now they all sit empty because they have forgotten to continue to disciple their children. That is so much of what we're seeing here in the book of Judges with Joshua. As they enter into the promised land, an angel comes to them and says, I'm the angel of the Lord. I've brought you out of Egypt. I've brought you out of slavery. I brought you out of Pharaoh's house. And here is the land that is given to you. Take all of this. It's all yours. And they were given a command to actually eradicate all the Canaanites. Get rid of all the tribes that are here. What he means by that is he actually wants you to kill them. Get rid of all those tribes that are so disobedient to God. I want you to possess this land, and I don't want anything to come in between you. But Israel doesn't do that. They don't get rid of all the Canaanites. They don't get rid of the Canaanite gods. Because of this, they start to actually worship the Canaanite gods because they have forgotten the faithfulness of Yahweh. And so what they inherit here in verse 1, in week 1 here, in chapter 2, verses 1 through 7, they inherit a land given to them, but through their disobedience, through the death of Joshua, they become unfaithful to God. They forget God's goodness. They have been given this land. They've been given these houses. They've been given this milk and this honey and all this food, all this produce, all this wonderful stuff. And they have forgotten the Lord's goodness to them. And yet, God never breaks his promise to them. So that's what you're going to see in Judges 2, verses 1 through 7. So again, if you have any questions, please ask the discipleship director at your campus. Reach out to me. Reach out to your pastor. We would love to help you with this. Enjoy week 1.